seeming things corresponds to man's primal instinct to know the reality he observes and to understand its phenomena. Concluded through the centuries, the exploration of the Earth, where research still focuses particularly on the dimension of the knowable that is not immediately apparent to the naked eye, the exploration of the cosmos remains today the area of research where the unknown seems to vastly exceed the extent, albeit constantly growing, of knowledge acquired. Through impressive international scientific and technological cooperation efforts, the conquest of ever new cognitive frontiers in space feeds the circuit of observation, understanding, description, classification of celestial bodies and their interrelationships. The linguistic repercussion of these dynamics appears significant both in the dimension of high scientific research and, above all, in that of popularization, in which the dissemination and sharing of knowledge with a wider audience of non-specialized interlocutors raises the double challenge of making the complex concepts that word express understood and of involving a wider audience in cognitive itineraries that are all more fascinating the more accessible they are made. Popular scientific translation in astrophysics presents particular profiles of criticality precisely because the translator who is about to translate a popular text in this field will be faced with problems, especially concerning certain terms that, while in a non-public technical scientific test, therefore addressed to an audience of scientists or the scientific community itself, would not be translated, but rather left in English or written in acronyms, etc. In a popular text, they must be translated and, where possible, also made explicit, since it is a text aimed at the general public, and therefore in translating one must certainly be as clear as possible in order to make the neophyte appreciate a text concerning a subject that is new to him. The translator in this case can use one or more translation techniques, such as, for example, the term wormhole could and should in a popular text be explicitated, that is, translated in an explanatory way, with an explanation, therefore, of what a wormhole is, that is, a space-time burrow. Other terms, such as quasar and pulsar and so on, remain untranslatable since, for example, quasar is the contraction of quasi-stellar radio source, and that could never be translated with a contraction in Italian, hypothetically becoming frax or RQS. The most frequently used translation technique are adaptation, expansion, reduction, borrowing, calque, modulation, transposition, equivalence, and there is finally the literal translation, which is the one most faithful of all to the text in the original language. As for the nomenclature of scientific terms, it originated in Latin in ancient Rome, and one of the first to seek neologisms to indicate phenomena of nature was Cicero himself. It is only after 1700, as a result of the evolution related to development of scientific method and knowledge, that there is historically a shift between ancient language, Latin, Greek, Arabic, and English-speaking terminology, which still dominates the vast majority of the scientific nomenclature. A terminological survey of the main recurring nouns and their expression was conducted for this research. On the one hand, a comparative analysis of the etymological evolution of the same terms through sources published in different eras. On the other, in order to assess the recurrences and innovations detectable in the sources themselves. In the analysis conducted, there is also a hypothesis for an explanatory popularizing glossary which could be placed at the end of a book. The main outcomes of the research conducted, which it is hoped may represent a suitable viaticum toward a professional future made up of technical expertise and linguistic passion. A future which, despite the era of the automated translation, still finds precisely in specialized translation its own raison d'être.
We are all different. However bad life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. While there is life, there is hope.